Dog attacks can be scary and dangerous, and it's important to know how to stay safe around our furry friends. Whether you're a dog owner or simply encounter dogs on your daily routine, understanding dog behavior and knowing how to interact with dogs safely can help prevent injuries and avoid dangerous situations. In this video, we'll provide easy ways to avoid dog attacks by discussing how to read dog behavior, how to safely interact with both familiar and unknown dogs, and how to respond to aggressive dogs. We'll also provide tips for teaching children how to stay safe around dogs, as children are often the most vulnerable to dog attacks. Staying safe around dogs is crucial for everyone's well-being. By following some simple tips and guidelines, you can reduce the risk of dog attacks and enjoy a healthy and happy relationship with your furry friends. So, let's dive into the world of dog safety and learn how to avoid dog attacks in a few simple steps. Understanding dog behavior. Understanding dog behavior is key to staying safe around dogs and avoiding dog attacks. Dogs communicate their emotions and intentions through body language, and being able to read their signals can help us predict their behavior and avoid dangerous situations. It's important to recognize the signs of aggression and fear in dogs, as these are the emotions that often lead to attacks. Aggressive dogs may display behaviors such as growling, snarling, snapping, or biting. Fearful dogs, on the other hand, may cower, tremble, or show signs of anxiety, such as panting or salivating. To read a dog's body language, it's important to pay attention to their overall posture, facial expressions, and tail position. A relaxed and happy dog will have a loose, wiggly body, an open mouth with a relaxed tongue, and a tail that wags in a gentle, broad motion. On the other hand, a fearful or aggressive dog will have a tense and rigid body, a closed mouth with bared teeth, and a tail that is held high and rigid or tucked between their legs. It's also important to be aware of the dog's environment and situation. Dogs may become more aggressive if they feel threatened, cornered, or protective of their territory or resources. For example, a dog that is eating, sleeping, or caring for their puppies may become more defensive and protective of their space. By understanding and being able to read dog behavior, we can anticipate a dog's response and avoid potentially dangerous situations. It's important to approach dogs slowly and respectfully, give them their space, and always ask the owner's permission before interacting with them. In the next sections, we'll discuss how to safely interact with both familiar and unknown dogs and respond to aggressive dogs. Avoiding encounters with unknown dogs. One of the easiest ways to avoid dog attacks is to avoid encounters with unknown dogs when possible. While we can't always predict when we will encounter dogs on our daily routines, it's important to be aware of the situations that may lead to an attack. Dogs that are off-leash, roaming free, or unattended are more likely to approach strangers and may be more unpredictable in their behavior. Similarly, dogs that are chained or tied up may become more aggressive due to their restricted movement and increased stress levels. If you encounter an unknown dog, it's important to remain calm and avoid making any sudden movements or loud noises that may startle the dog. It's also important to avoid direct eye contact, as this may be perceived as a threat by the dog. Instead, turn your body sideways and avoid facing the dog directly. If the dog approaches you, try to stay still and avoid running away, as this may trigger the dog's chase instinct. Instead, let the dog sniff you, and slowly back away once they lose interest. If the dog is aggressive or shows signs of fear, avoid engaging with them and slowly and calmly back away. It's important to remember that not all dogs are friendly, and it's better to be safe than sorry. If you feel uncomfortable or threatened by an unknown dog, it's best to avoid the situation altogether and find a safer path. By being aware of your surroundings and avoiding encounters with unknown dogs when possible, you can reduce the risk of dog attacks and stay safe. Interacting with familiar dogs. Interacting with familiar dogs can be a lot of fun, but it's important to remember that all dogs have their own personalities and boundaries. To interact with familiar dogs safely, it's important to respect their personal space and avoid doing anything that may make them feel uncomfortable or threatened. One of the most important things to keep in mind when interacting with dogs is to always ask the owner's permission before approaching or playing with the dog. This is especially important if the dog is new to you, as you may not know the dog's personality or triggers. When playing with dogs, it's important to avoid roughhousing, as this can be perceived as aggressive behavior by the dog. Instead, try playing with a toy or a ball and avoid getting too close to the dog's face or body. If the dog seems tired or disinterested, it's important to stop playing and give the dog some space. It's also important to pay attention to a dog's body language when interacting with them. Signs of stress or discomfort in dogs can include growling, barking, or biting, as well as body language such as tail tucking, lip licking, or avoiding eye contact. If you notice any of these signs, it's important to stop interacting with the dog and give them space. By respecting a dog's boundaries and personal space, and by paying attention to their body language, you can interact with familiar dogs safely and avoid potentially dangerous situations. Remember to always ask for permission before interacting with a dog, and to be gentle and respectful when playing or interacting with them. Responding to aggressive dogs. Encountering an aggressive dog can be a scary experience, but it's important to respond in a calm and calculated manner to avoid escalating the situation. Here are some tips for safely and effectively responding to aggressive dogs. Avoid making eye contact. Making direct eye contact with a dog can be interpreted as a threat or a challenge, which may provoke an aggressive response. Instead, try to avoid looking directly at the dog and keep your body turned slightly to the side. Stand still. If a dog approaches you in an aggressive manner, try to stand still and avoid running away. Running may trigger a dog's prey drive, making the situation even more dangerous. Instead, try to remain calm and still, and avoid making sudden movements. Use a barrier. If possible, try to put a barrier between yourself and the dog, such as a fence or a tree. This can help to create some distance between you and the dog, and may prevent an attack. Use a calm voice. If the dog seems receptive to communication, try using a calm and soothing voice to talk to them. Avoid making sudden movements or loud noises, as this may escalate the situation. Seek professional help. If you encounter an aggressive dog on a regular basis, or if you are unable to resolve the situation on your own, it's important to seek professional help. A professional dog trainer or animal behaviorist may be able to offer advice and assistance in dealing with aggressive dogs. By staying calm, avoiding eye contact, and using a barrier or a calm voice, you can effectively respond to aggressive dogs and avoid potentially dangerous situations. Remember to always put your safety first, and to seek professional help if necessary. Teaching children to stay safe around dogs. As much as we want to protect our children, dog attacks are a potential danger that we must be aware of. It's important to teach children how to stay safe around dogs. First, children should always ask for permission before approaching a dog, especially if the dog is unknown to them. They should also approach slowly and calmly, letting the dog sniff them first. Children should be taught not to run or scream around dogs as it can trigger an attack. It's also important for children to understand a dog's body language, so they know when to stop and give the dog space. Teach them to look out for signs of fear or aggression, such as growling, barking, or baring teeth. If they see any of these signs, they should slowly back away. In addition, children should avoid making direct eye contact with dogs, as this can be seen as a sign of aggression. They should also avoid petting a dog's head, as it can be seen as a threatening gesture. Instead, teach them to pet a dog under the chin or on the back, and only if the owner gives permission. Finally, children should never disturb a dog that is eating, sleeping, or caring for puppies. They should also avoid teasing or taunting dogs in any way. Teaching children these simple rules will help them stay safe around dogs and avoid potential attacks. Staying safe around dogs is crucial for both humans and dogs. Understanding dog behavior, avoiding encounters with unknown dogs, interacting with familiar dogs safely, responding to aggressive dogs, and teaching children to stay safe around dogs are all important steps in avoiding dog attacks. By following these tips and being aware of the signals dogs give, people can enjoy the company of dogs while minimizing the risk of attacks. It's important to remember that dogs are individuals, and that reading their body language is key to predicting their behavior. It is our responsibility to treat them with respect and to keep ourselves safe. We hope that this video has provided valuable insights and tips for staying safe around dogs, and encourage viewers to share this information with others to promote dog safety awareness.